All right, guys, let's talk about dealing with a soft top, rag top, convertible, doesn't matter what you call it. So I have a towel. It's damp from being in a rinseless bucket with our Eco 1 product. During the detail of this car, we want to try to keep this as dry as possible. Okay, it's kind of hard to do. You know, you're gonna use your pressure washer or whatever, but this is pretty dry to the touch. One thing you don't want to do is use a long pile towel here. You want to use something like our leveler. You don't want something with a bunch of long fibers that get stuck here. So I have Eco 1 full strength. Then I have Eco 1 in a bucket, and this towel's just damp. And so what I'm going to do to maintain my top and keep it clean is not pressure wash it, because a lot of times what can happen is you can introduce, if you don't dry it well, if it kind of sits, you would have a situation where it would get kind of musty. And this is going to add a little protection to it as well as clean it. And what happens is if you go in there, you need to use a drying towel. We got something there. If you use something like, you know, the big Chug, whatever, and you try to use it under a normal wash, you're not going to completely dry the top. And what you want is this top to stay pretty dry all the time. You know, obviously it gets caught in rain, whatever, but we don't want to introduce something from a pressure washer. So this is the easiest and quickest way. And so I'm just going to lightly mist. Remember, Eco 1 has a tiny bit of protection in it. I got the damp towel still. And now I'm just going to scrub my top. And that's how you maintain it properly and keep it looking good without trying to get in there with a pressure washer. Pressure washers can have some real problems with tops. And so that's all we got to do. Like I said, just a little damp towel with some rinseless for Eco 1 on it. You want to make sure you get in, you got some tiny little hair. We know that's not from Marty. All right, so there we go, guys. Easy way, and we kept the pressure washer away from it, and the top looks good as new, and we added a little protection. How to maintain a soft top, convertible, simple as can be. When you're detailing your car's interior, what are the tools you need to get into every little nook and cranny? I know it can be kind of confusing, so I got a few here. First and foremost, you need a great interior cleaner. Revive, our quick interior detailer. Don't be fooled by quick interior detailer. This will clean up any grime you come across. It's ultra safe. It'll return everything to an OEM finish. So it'll take all the body oils, body lotions, dirt, grime. It'll get rid of it, and it'll look just like the day it came out of the factory. Then you need an ultra soft detail brush. Okay, something to get into the buttons, to get into the vents, all those different types of things. You need a good towel. Okay, you want to go with something a little lower pile, in my opinion. This is our workaholic towel. You can find it at hyperCLEANstore.com, just like the ultra soft detail brush. And then you need our scrub monster. This helps agitate things like your steering wheel, plastics. We'll show some here on the Alcantara, suede, whatever you want to call it. And then you have an optional tool. You see these, hooks up to an air compressor called the Vortex, Tornador. It goes by a lot of different names. To me, this is optional. Don't go out and buy something from, you know, go buy an air compressor and a whole setup. You don't need this. It's helpful to have it, okay? These are the tools you need to get a perfect interior. As you can see, we're sitting in this Porsche right now. If you can see the floor mats, this thing's in incredibly bad shape. We're only going to be using a towel, our workaholic, ultra soft detail brush, our scrub monster, and Revive to get this completely cleaned up. Those are all the tools you need to get your interior back to like factory. Here we are on a Porsche Targa. This is the perfect car to talk about leather, plastic, suede, Alcantara is what most people know it by. Suede is more of an old term. All the ways to clean up all of these different surfaces you could come across on your interior. We're going to use Revive, our scrub monster, a workaholic towel, and a detailing brush. We've actually left, hopefully you guys can pick this up on camera, we've left the floor mats in here so you guys can see how dirty this interior is, that we're not just, you know, cleaning something that's already clean. This interior is pretty neglected, not in the worst shape by any means, but this is a neglected interior. We can start talking about the leathers, the plastics, all this different type of stuff using one product, Revive. Marty, got our work cut out for us.
Yeah, but let's do it.
Okay, so let's first talk about Alcantara. Okay, Alcantara is something that people get really worried about. You'll see people using like special Alcantara cleaner. And so I'll work here on the door and show you how I take care of Alcantara. First of all, I'm gonna mist some product into my scrub monster and then lightly mist the Alcantara, okay? Not wet it. What you guys will see is you'll start to see a little bit of foam, okay? This is where his arm goes, so this is armrest territory. We know, and you guys can already start to see brand new scrub monster. We're already pulling dirt. Revive is completely safe. And actually what you'll see is it'll start to bring the fibers back up and soften them. When they start to lay flat, what happens is they kind of get uncomfortable under your arm, especially if you're wearing a short sleeve shirt in the summer or something like this. He's got a targa, so he's going to have the top down, so you know he's going to be in some short sleeves in this, huh, Marty?
See, that's why you called it a neglected vehicle. And I go, I'm going to just let you roll. But see, I think he was enjoying the top down when we had this like 80-degree weather.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he just hasn't cleaned it. You know, it's not in like you mentioned. It's not neglected to where we've got damage.
No, it's not.
It's neglected to where it's ready for a cleaning.
Yeah, and we see a lot of people get really worried about spraying interior cleaners right on their car. I think that's kind of silly. If you have the right formulated product, you don't need to worry about that at all, to be fair, okay?
We talk about peace of mind on the outside, but we kind of forget about peace of mind when cleaning the inside. There's a lot of questions around, what do I do around this part? What do I do around this part? What do I do with this type of service?
Yeah, if you have the right products, it's irrelevant, right? You're not gonna damage anything. I mean, I wouldn't go spray a whole bunch of stuff on, something like an infotainment screen, but I need to get some product on this Alcantara. Again, we're not wetting it down. We're just putting some product so it can go to work. On the plastic, on the leather, all you're really trying to do here is get some product to work with. So I don't like wasting time and just trying to spray directly into my towel only, okay? I really do like having some product on the surface, but again, you gotta use some discretion. You can't just soak this thing down.
Well, we used to though, right? You used to just spray and go, man. Spray and just let it run.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. And it's not, that wasn't the right thing to do. We just didn't know better, and now we do. So it tells you how long Marty and I have been doing this, that we've seen and done all the screw ups. And what we're doing here is just, this is a little bit beyond maintenance to me, Marty. This is where the car is at in condition. I'd like to keep it a little bit more maintained. But life gets in the way. Like you said, he was probably enjoying it. And so, that's okay. That's why we have products like Revive and Scrub Monster and Workaholic towels and ultra soft brushes, to bring things back to life.
Because when it's ready, right?
Yep.
It's ready for a clean. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. And
if it had gone too much longer, we might have started to have some damage.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to really soak this down now because I have what I think is probably a pretty dirty steering wheel. But notice, by using a Scrub Monster, I didn't have to worry about spraying the odometer, and getting product everywhere or putting a towel. I can just go right into my Scrub Monster and kind of go to work here in all the bigger places. We actually did a car yesterday, same process basically, and the owner called you when they picked up the car and go, hey, look at the steering wheel. It's just, again, body oils, everything. Might get a little bit.
Yeah, they go, hey, did you clean the inside? I was like, whoa, right? Normally that's a, hold on, what's the matter? You got something, right?
Yeah.
You go, oh, okay, hold on, what's going on? But they're like, no, it smells clean.
Yep.
Right, like we weren't expecting it to be this right? So you could fill in the blank, really. You could fill in the blank with whatever. And the fact that they just sat down, there was no crazy scents. There was no, it smells like this, or, I can't. No, they just go, hey, this smells clean.
Yep. And that was the idea of this formula. This formula was really born out of higher end cars. What higher end owners? So now, whether you're driving a Honda Civic, we happen to be doing a Mercedes yesterday. We're doing a Porsche today. It doesn't matter what you own. There's something about factory clean that's different than getting in and you got a interior cleaner that smells like cherry or bubble gum or, pina colada. And it's like, you know what, man? I don't want that.
Yep.
And, especially as interiors are becoming a little nicer throughout all manufacturers. So what I did there, guys, is just sprayed a little bit into my brush to get it some cleaner into this tight area over here.
Well, it's also those smells. Many times they have to put those real strong fruity smells to get you away from that strong chemical smell.
That's a good point.
It's kind of a mask. So inside the formula, what we did with the surfactants that we used, and instead of using some ingredients that other people use, we really tried to craft this one out too, like you said, for that high-end vehicle that we know we're going to have to work on Alcantara. We know we're going to have to work on, we just talked about how many services. I mean, literally, you could just count and look at all these. You talk about the soft metals that we have here too, right?
Yep.
Like, have to really be concerned about that. And then you got to add in the scent to where people don't want a harsh scent, so we really don't have a scent in it. And you go, yeah, that's a group of surfactants that we use to just give it that clean, fresh smell.
So what we did with our scent is basically clean, right? Clean ingredients, clean smell. When you're done, your car's going to smell clean. It's not going to smell like a chemical. It's not going to smell like you use something harsh. Even when you go, we have APC in our lineup, and I say this all the time. APC is great for, something that's so neglected, it's almost beyond saving, right? But we're beyond APC, to be fair. This can handle everything that you need and get things back to OEM spec. And you don't pay for a Porsche and want to smell fragrance.
Man, geez, you don't pay for a Kia anymore now at $80,000. There's a lot of people that go, hey, we don't pay for...
Yeah. And, look, we're hearing a lot more about people's allergies. They don't want harsh chemicals because it messes with their breathing, messes with their health. And so, we're just beyond these things. And that's a good thing, right? Like
Absolutely.
It's good to, get beyond this stuff and do something a little better. But this was just born out of an idea. For those that don't know, I take care of a lot of car collections. We've actually gotten a lot of car collections that contact us about using Revive. They end up using Revive, then they use the rest of our product line. Because everybody's battling the same thing is, how do I have an interior cleaner that doesn't smell up my interior? Doesn't leave something behind. Now it leaves UV protection behind, but it's not leaving, what you would call like that grimy smell. Everybody that hasn't smelled it, that smell of harsh cleaner in a dirty interior is real noticeable, and it sucks to live in.
Absolutely.
What you're going to be living in your car, right?
And live in is the key word, because it hangs out for quite a while.
Yeah, and I couldn't stand it. So this was one of our first projects we ever did as owners of hyperCLEAN together. I was like, I need to fix this. And I had used and tested products for, I don't know how many companies contacted me about doing this project, and they all were addicted. And I know one scent you'll know they were addicted to, that old leather scent that is just so bad it's hard to put into words. And we just didn't want any of that. So now as I go to the console, guys, this middle console, one of the things that I want to say is I always give a little light dusting with the detail brush first, just to kind of knock any. Normally we would have vacuumed. we wanted to show these floor mats because we wanted to show people, sometimes it's hard to get across on camera just how dirty something is. And so what I'll do to do the infotainment screen, and this goes across the board, guys, for anybody's car, give a spray on your towel and just wipe the screen down. This is a completely safe, non-streak formula that when you dry it, there's not going to be anything left behind. It is going to leave it in perfect shape, and we're done with the infotainment screen right there. That's the important part there. And so
Easy, huh?
it's super easy.
You don't have to fight.
And so I'm going to take the scrub monster and kind of do this center panel here, just because I know these are, we call these touch points. One of the things, if you're detailing your own car, you're detailing professionally, one of the reasons I like to sit in the driver's seat when I do this, and I don't like to just lean over. And look, guys, this is brand new. So this is just me working the whole driver's side. It's pretty banged up. So one thing that I teach my guys that I bring on, you always want to be cognizant of the touch points. What is somebody going to see? What do they touch the most? And those are the things that need the most love, right? So we have a shift knob here. Going over that with a scrub monster is a no-brainer to me. We have carbon fiber right here. We have buttons. We have radio buttons. You know, these are all touch points. And so you'll actually get a better result on your car if you sit in the seat how you would sit in it. So actually what you'll see in my process, guys, a lot of times is I won't detail the seat till very last. That way I can sit in here comfortably. If I spray too much chemical, it's not, you know, on my pants. And that is 110% how I do things. So I'll get the middle. Let's pop this. Pop anything that pops up. Make sure you pop it and get all the nooks and crannies, obviously. But let me show you a touch here that a lot of people don't do. The visor. Especially if you're detailing professionally, whatever. Women notice this much more than we do. Women touch this much more than we do. They've got fingerprints. They get stuff on their mirror. This is the thing to pull down. And in the Porsche, it's super obvious, obviously, with the top down. So we have Alcantara here. Going to go ahead and spray a little product into because now, if you look at it, there's all kinds of touch points. And if we let it go too long, it could damage the Alcantara. So now, I have the best way to deal with Alcantara is to always keep it clean. So for those that don't know, you can actually sand Alcantara, okay? If you have to get to the point of sanding Alcantara, you have not maintained it properly, because the only thing to me, obviously unless it's a heavily driven vehicle, it's got 100,000 miles on it and the Alcantara steering wheel right here is worn out. That's actual wear. But for most Alcantara steering wheels, those cars don't get a ton of miles, you know, regularly. If they do, then, you know, disregard this. But this right here is going to get damaged by body oil before wear. So if I just keep it clean, it's gonna really work out for me. So I actually go ahead and clean these mirrors on a detail. You'd be surprised how many people, again, especially women, will say, "You cleaned that?" Right? Because if I sit here and I keep thinking about touch points, right? This is a touch point for a lot of people.
Absolutely. I cleaned mine, and then you pulled down the mirror, and I go, crap. I did forget. I cleaned all that, then forgot to do that part. So.
Okay. Rear view, another thing. The touch points are back here, right? When somebody moves it, they grab like this. So your touch points on a rear view mirror a lot of times are behind here and on the bottom. Okay. So that's how we teach, right? If I'm really teaching somebody how to do a complete interior, that's one of the things I'm doing, is teaching this part of it. I think we could probably switch the camera around and try to bring guys in, and I'll clean this seat so they could actually see Alcantara being clean close up.
Sounds
so
good.
Guys, we'll kind of finish that part, and we'll bring you in, and we'll try to show you cleaning up this driver's seat. All right, guys, now we want to bring you in, finish driver's seat and a metal console, but we want to shoot it a little differently so we can show you what we mean by cleaning up some Alcantara and some leather pieces. If you guys can see the floor mat, we left this so you guys could see that how dirty this interior was. It's hard to get that to come across on camera sometimes. So we're gonna take Revive, 1 spray, 2 sprays. We're not drenching it. What we're doing is we're introducing some cleaner into the area. Dampen is not drenching. So you'll see a lot of people that say don't spray cleaner. Yeah, don't spray poorly formulated cleaners on Alcantara. But this idea you need some kind of special Alcantara cleaner to take care of Alcantara is just not true if you use a clean product like Revive. And look, that's dry to the touch, okay? The towel pulled out all the moisture. We're in a good spot. Now, we're gonna go into a bigger area. We got leather, we got all kinds of different surfaces, including Alcantara, okay? So, what we're gonna do here, same thing. Lightly spray, get some cleaner in there. I'm actually gonna put a fair amount of cleaner on every inch of my scrub monster. And you guys will see, you see it foaming up with just a touch, okay, just a little bit. This is going to deep clean the fibers. To me, this is a no-brainer for the scrub monster. It's got these little fibers on it that help get into the nooks and crannies of the Alcantara. Okay, so we've scrubbed that down. I'm gonna add a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more Revive. Now I'm gonna go in on the leather parts and knock down a little bit of this shine. Okay, now the key is I'm going to wipe the leather first. I still want that cleaner to work inside that Alcantara for as long as I can. Me personally, I deal with a ton of Alcantara in my business. So we've been doing this process for a very long time. Got little things pop up, just pick them up. And this Alcantara is dry to the touch now and completely clean. Alcantara can last a very long time or a very short time. And for most people, it's a very short time because they don't clean it. Hopefully it comes across on camera. The shine from the leather over here is gone. The shine here from the leather is gone. And the Alcantara is very, very clean. And I want to say this, don't oversaturate the Alcantara. Light mist in your towel will pick up anything left behind. And this is perfectly clean. Now you can make a decision. Do you want to have some brush marks in it? For me, I prefer sort of just that clean, like I just cleaned it look. Hope this helps everybody. We got a chance to show some different surfaces in here. Marshall and I need to get to vacuuming this thing, and the reason we didn't is we wanted to show people just how dirty this interior was. Very hard to get on camera sometimes, and people think you're always just cleaning clean stuff. This one needs the floor mats, the carpet, and everything gone through. So we'll go ahead and do that now, and thanks for watching.